Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're doing a 2 looks 1 palette plus review of the Nomad Cosmetics Cartagena Magica palette. This is their newest release. So if that sounds fun, stick around. We're going to get started in just a second. Before we do, if you're new here, hi, I'm Annie. I am a 40-something lover of color who believes you can have fun with color at any age. If that sounds fun or interesting, if you want to see a little more color in your timeline, if you love colorful makeup and indie makeup as much as I do, as much as I know all of my subscribers here do, I would love it if you would join us by subscribing down below. Of course, I am not a trained makeup artist. I am someone who just loves to play with and talk about makeup, especially when it's indie brands, and has exactly one person in her real life who is willing to listen to her. So here I am. Anyhow, before we get started, you will hear trumpet playing in part of this video, especially during this part, the outro, and look number 2, which is what I'm wearing on my eyeballs right now, because my daughter is practicing her trumpet. So there we are. Also, I do want to say thank you to everybody for all your kind words that you left after my last video, my first impression video on this palette. You guys are all so sweet and so kind, and I really, really do appreciate every single one of you. So thank you, really. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You don't know how much it means to me that you guys are just who you are. You guys are wonderful. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, this is actually look number 2. I didn't have time to film the intro before look number 1. So yeah, here we are with look number 2. Here is the palette. It is beautiful. This is the inside of the palette if you haven't seen it before. So now that we have all of that stuff out of the way, I guess let's just go ahead and dive into look number 1, followed of course by look number 2, and then my final thoughts on this palette. So I think I'm going to go with something surprisingly a little more natural today. I have someplace I have to go where bright, colorful makeup is really not appropriate. So I'm going to be using, I think, probably this shade, and maybe this shade here in the outer corner or whatever. So we shall see. Starting with the lightest shade, which is Cien Años. So that's this shade right here. I'm just going to pick that up and I'm going to place it here on the inner portion of my eye. I'm going to do a bit of a halo kind of effect. And I think I'm going to just go ahead and run this one all the way through the crease because it's light enough to do that. Alrighty then moving on to the next shade, I am going to pick up Realissimo Magica, which I did use in my Magico, excuse me, which I did use in my first look, but I do want to use it again today. It's a beautiful shade, and just based on the color kind of scheme I'm going with, it's the only logical choice. These shadows are just so easy to use. I mean, I don't know if you can see just how quickly and easily that went down. I'm gonna kind of drag it under my eye as well. So easy. And I'm going to now go into La Diosa Coronada, which is this shade up here. It's more of a terracotta shade. And we are going to use that to hopefully add a little bit more depth out here. Again, like I said in my first impression, this palette is lacking a bit when it comes to shadows to deepen things up with. which is like pretty much my one complaint about this palette. Then I'm just going to go back in, I think with that brush I started with 100 Años, and I'm just going to kind of blend everything together. I'm not adding any product or anything on my brush, just blending. I forgot to add a little bit of that darkest shade under my eye over here. Alrighty then, for the center of my lid, of course I'm going to add a little bit of NYX Glitter Primer. And then we're going to go into Eres El Mundo, which is this kind of gold shade. It's really, really pretty. Such a pretty color. Wow. I'm not usually into golds, but this one is very interesting. And I'm just kind of tapping it around, and then I will go back in with the brush here that I used with that darkest kind of terracotta shade, and I'm just going to drag the edges to kind of blend it all together. That's such a beautiful shade. And then over the top, just using my little pinky finger, I'm just going to go in with a little bit of this yellow here. And I'm just going to tap that right in the center, just to add a little bit of extra light there. And then we'll just kind of, again, drag that out just a smidgen. In my inner corner, I'm going to go in again with that light shade, that really light yellow shade again, and we are going to pop that just here in the inner corner. And then I feel like I want to try to deepen this up just a tiny bit more. So I'm going to go in with a smudger brush, if I can find my smudger, and that terracotta shade again. And we're just going to kind of add it a little bit deeper here under my lower lash line. All right, so here's where I am. I am going to go do the other eye, add liner, mascara, highlighter, all of those things, and then I will be back to show you guys the final look. This is very simple, very easy, very quick. So here's the final look. All right, so here is look number one. On my lips, I am just using Ofra's Verona. And for my eyeliner, I just used a little bit of Redux, that's the black from Lethal, as well as just a nude pencil in my waterline. I don't know what's happening over here today. We're just gonna pretend that's not going on. Yeah, so that is look number one. I really do like the way it came out. It's very appropriate for where I'm going today. And yeah, so let's just, I guess, go ahead and dive right into look number two. Okay, so for look number 2, I think I am going to go ahead and use these kind of shadows down here. I really want to play with these more mauve tones. So yeah, I think we're just going to dive in. I'm going to probably use this one, and this one as far as mattes go. And as far as shimmers go, these are the only 2 that I have yet to use. So I think I'm going to probably figure out some way to incorporate them into my look, and we will see how it goes. I'm going to start out very, very basic, taking Moss ephemera, maybe Moss ephemera, this shade here anyhow. And I'm going to just toss that all through my crease. I'm putting it on a very fluffy brush. I have, of course, primed my eyes using my MAC paint pot in soft ochre. That is actually a little deeper than I was expecting. I'm not mad at that at all. That is really a very pretty color. Oh my gosh. And it blends so nicely. Of course, you probably hear it. I know you do. My daughter has practiced today. So yeah, you're going to be hearing trumpet sounds in this particular video. Surprise! That is beautiful. I mean, and really effortless to blend. That is what I love about Nomad mattes. They really do blend out beautifully and nicely with no effort on your part at all. All right, lovely as always. So, so beautiful. So happy with that. All right, now I am going to go in with the next shade here. This is going to be Amore Contrarios. This shade right here anyhow. And we are going to pick that up on, this is just a Morphe M433. And I am going to kind of blend that into my crease as well. I'm just not going to take it as high, but I am going to go all the way through, just not taking it up as high as I did the other one. Now this is looking very similar. It is adding a little bit of depth, but it is very similar to that first shade that I used. So this could be a case of maybe this one might have been just a little bit lighter. For my preference anyways. Again though, completely easy to blend out. It's just so lovely. Okay, that was super easy again. Totally love it. Completely seamless blend. Absolutely gorgeous. Going in with the last matte, I can say this one. This is Omega. It is definitely, in the pan, looks more mauve. And that is really pretty. So of course, like I said in my first impression, the thing that's really missing in this palette is the depth. Like this is definitely not deep enough for me in my like normal makeup preferences. So there is that kind of drawback. I'm just kind of putting this in like the outer like half area here. I'm not going to pull this all the way in. It did add a little bit of depth, but not like a whole lot. All right, I'm happy with that as far as it can be. Again, I would like a little more depth out there, but nothing I can do about it here. So we are just going to move on to the shimmers. I love how quick this is. This is a great palette to grab for in the morning when I'm in a hurry. Where's my, it's right in front of me, my NYX Glitter Primer, because we always know that I need my NYX Glitter Primer. I'm going to pop a little bit of that on my lid. And I think I don't want this to really be a cut crease. So while I'm taking this obviously up over the hood of my eye here so that you can see it when my eyes are open, I am going to try to make this, you know, kind of blend together. And then we shall see. All right, so I have these two shades that I haven't used yet. I have De Soledad, which is this shade right here, and Del Amor, which is a little bit more orange toned. I don't know. I definitely want to use De Soledad, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use Del Amor. I might put that on my lower lash line, maybe. Maybe we'll do that. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to start with De Soledad. So that is this shade right here. I'm going to pick that up with this brush that I used. And I'm going to take the cat hair off of there because I don't want that stuck on my eyeball. That's really pretty. Wow. I don't think that this picks up on camera just how beautiful Nomad shimmers are. They really are quite stunning. They are so sparkly and there's so much dimension in them. I am honestly not sure how they managed to take a shade that looks very unassuming, honestly, and just turn it into something that is just so pretty. Oh, it's just gorgeous. That is so, so pretty. I am just going to go in with that second brush I used, and I'm just going to kind of blend this edge here because I want that to be a little softer. That is so pretty. And then going in with that shade that I use, the brush that I used with Omega with no additional product on the brush, I'm just going to kind of tap it over the edge and pull it outwards just to blend the shimmer in with the matte. That's so, so pretty. I really, really like that. That's gorgeous. For my lower lash line, we are going to pick up a bit of that Omega just on this very small kind of smudger brush here. And I'm just going to pop that as close to my lower lash line as I can get. Only about the outer half here. So definitely kind of using this denser brush, I'm getting a darker color, which makes me happy. I'm just going to kind of come in here with the same brush. I know it's not typically a brush that you would use for this, but since it's the one I have in my hand, I'm just going to kind of pack this on just a little bit out here. All right, and then we are going to pick up, which brush do I want? I want my little Luxie brush. Where's my little Luxie brush? I'm looking for my little tiny mini round blending brush. Here we go. I'm going to use my Luxie. What is this? This is a mini tapered blending brush 121. And I'm going to go into this shade right here. And we are going to kind of blend that underneath. And then using that same brush, I'm just kind of cleaning it off on my little color switcher and going into Mas Ephemera, which was this one right there. We are going to do the same, blend it underneath. And I'm just going to make sure I'm blending all of this together all the way around. Really, really love that. For my inner corner, I think what I'm going to do is go into that orange shade that I didn't use. And I'm just going to pick that up on my, I guess this one will work. This is just a Luxie mini flat angled brush. And I think what I'm going to actually do first is I'm going to lay down a little bit of a glitter primer just underneath here. I'm going to use a different brush, I think, instead. Something a little pointier that I can be a little more precise with. Let's see. I want my pencil brush. This one I think will do the trick. This is just a Luxie 141 mini round brush here. And I'm just going to use the tiniest amount here. And I'm going to try to not hit my lashes. I know, famous last words. And I'm just going to kind of put this on underneath my lashes so that it has a place to stick. And then whatever's left on the brush, I'm just putting in my inner corner. I don't typically like to use glitter primer in my inner corner just because it usually feels weird. Ooh, that's pretty too. That is really pretty. And then we're going to drag that underneath where I put that glitter primer. So pretty. And then I'm gonna go back one more time with that little mini blending brush here and just make sure that this is all blended and beautiful. All right, I think I'm happy with the way that's looking so far, other than the lack of depth, but there's nothing I can do about it. That's just the nature of this particular palette. So I'm going to finish the other eye. I'm going to apply blush highlight because I have not done that yet. And then I will come back to show you the final look and give you guys my final thoughts on this palette. Okay, so here's the final look. So in my waterline, I used the shade Walk of Shame from Urban Decay. This is just a nude pencil. And then for my wing, I used the shade Redux from Lethal Cosmetics. It's just their black gel liner. On my lips, I have Bodyography's lip pencil in Pouty, topped with Glam Light Agua Fresca lip gloss. Okay, so I really do like the look that I came up with today, but I definitely feel like it needed to have that black to kind of just ground the whole look. As far as this palette goes, I think that this is beautiful. I really do love the color story. I think that it's just so bright and so lovely. The shadows perform amazingly. I've used every single shadow in this palette, and every single one is so great. The mattes are outstanding. You saw how easily and quickly they blended into one another. There is no mess, no fuss. I mean, they're just that good. You don't really even have to work at them at all. This palette, like I said earlier, I think is a fantastic one to grab when you are in a hurry. And I have a little lipstick on my teeth as usual. When you're in a hurry and you just want to run out the door and you just want to throw on a quick and easy look. I think that this palette would also lend itself really well to simple eye looks with just one matte and one shimmer. That's just not my style. I don't think I ever use less than 4 shadows, usually more. That's just not my style, but I think that this would be fantastic just for quick, easy, 2-minute looks and you're out the door. I really do like it. Of course, you're going to know my one complaint for this palette is the lack of depth. There really isn't a shade that you can use to deepen things up. I would have even been happy if one of these was a deeper brown, just that you could use to deepen up all of these shades. I would really have loved it if there was like a dark blue or a dark purple or both in this palette. I think that would have served it really well and would have just provided more versatility for this palette. But overall, I love it. The formula is outstanding and I just love Nomad Cosmetics and I'm so happy to have this in my collection and I'm excited to play with it a bit more. I do want to play with this one along with the Antilles palette just to see what I can come up with. So I may do that. We shall see if time allows, but I think that is all I have to say now. So I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy today's video, please don't forget to hit that like button down below. While you're there, scooch on over, hit subscribe. Next to subscribe is that bell. If you ring that bell, you should be notified of all of my uploads. And of course, you can find me on Instagram at seemybliss_beauty. If you leave your house today, please don't forget to wear your mask, wash your hands, be kind to your friends, be kind to your neighbors, be kind to your family, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.